Welcome to another episode of Get Ready with Me in bad lighting in my bathroom. I don't know what's so terrible about this lighting, but it's not good. The other house, much better, but it's what I got. How's everybody doing out there? I am getting ready. There's my Michelle bracelet. To clarify, it says, "You are the sister I got to choose," with a little heart. I wear this especially every time I travel. Getting ready to go. We're going for an overnight to see Lillian compete in gymnastics. And I missed her all last season because we had the puppy and I just didn't feel, we didn't have a good option for him to go overnight. This, by the way, I'm not even going to promote this because they kind of screwed me over, this company, Pericomb MD. I bought a little starter kit from them, which I do like. But suddenly I was signed up for some subscription, which was not at all in the purchase, and I had to get out of it. Like, they started sending it to me monthly and charging me a lot of money for it, and I'm like, how did that happen? And they're not easy to get out of. The Roach Motel, once you get in, it's hard to get out. So I'm not going to promote them, but I'm just telling you what I'm using. Little eye cream. So yeah, Lillian has majorly progressed since I've last seen her compete. She's competing this evening. We're going to spend the night. I love going to a hotel with my hubs. We have so much fun and spending the night. I don't know why that is. We don't stay in, like, we're just going to a basic hotel on the road, but Hampton Inn or something, but we always have such a good time. So we're going to do that. I got to brag on myself for a second. My neighbor and I, we have a little stealth mission that we did. We've been planning for a while. I'm not going to say what it is because there's some weirdos out there that like to follow me and kind of intrude. So I don't want to say, but we just did a stealth flower mission where we stealthily planted 200 tulip and daffodil bulbs. Again, this Wet n Wild tinted hydrator. And so nobody knows they're coming, but they're going to pop up in the spring. So we did that. And I said to her, it's now or never, because I had hundreds and hundreds of bulbs in my garage, and like, we got to do this now. So we didn't want to get seen because we're trying to do this as like a major surprise. So we went out, and thank God we weren't doing it at nighttime like we planned, because we couldn't see a damn thing, because we finished where's this concealer? We finished just as the light was fading, and there we go. And we couldn't have seen anything if we were doing it as we planned. So we went kind of at dusk, but it was sort of a cloudy day. I got this because somebody said get a peach colored concealer, so I got it. Neutrogena Clear Coverage Concealer. You can see how that's a different color. Got this little spot on the end of my nose that is mimicking my husband's. When I got married, I got that, and he has one on the end of his nose, go figure. So yeah, we planted like 200 bulbs around these. I'm not even gonna say, because I don't want to get anybody to ruin our big surprise. And we didn't get busted. Nobody really saw us. If they did, they probably didn't know what we were doing. And so we just sit back and wait till the spring, and people will be pleasantly surprised that they had no idea that there's going to be all these flowers coming up in an unexpected way. So then I was on the phone with Ruth Markel. I'll just say it. She called me. We talked for like an hour yesterday, and I was on the phone with her, and I looked out into my garden through the window. My husband, like, he knocked on the door, and he's like pointing out there. He's like, I thought there was like a little Chinese lady out there. Like, why do you think he was? I don't know why he thought that. He goes, by the way that she was moving so deliberately. It's just somehow he thought she was a little Chinese lady gardening in the back. And it was my neighbor who came out and started cleaning up my garden. And I forgot that she said she was going to help me, because when I got sick, I had missed a lot of time in doing that I had intended to do. Let me put a little bit more of this on. So she was out there starting. So, I mean, needed a lot of cleanup from the whole fall. And so we cleaned up my whole garden, or most of it, which meant weeding and chopping things down and whatnot, and having piles and piles of debris to move. And then we got to planting the bulbs. Well, then when we got into the bulbs, I realized I had another like 300 tulips. It's like you forget what you order. Some of them are for my brothers. I'm going to go back over there tomorrow and finish planting the Maryland bulbs in his front of his place. So he'll have a whole runway of Maryland to walk through to go to his doorstep, which will be cool. Named after Marilyn Monroe. I've decided, I have no idea if I'm correct in this, but this is what I'm saying to myself and to him because he's such a Marilyn Monroe nut. It's a white tulip that's called a lily flowering tulip. So it comes up like this, and then it opens at the top. Instead of like most tulips are like this one's like that. And it's white, and then it has strokes of red, like as if somebody took a paintbrush and just watercolor red on it. And I think what it represents is her white dress, the flowing white skirt, and the strokes of red are her lipstick. That's what I'm telling, that's what I've decided. I have read that nowhere, nobody's told me that, but that's just in my head, and I'm telling my brother that's the lore of these tulips. So I gotta plant about 25 more of those tomorrow when we get back. So yeah, I was on the phone with Ruth. She called me. We are, yes, in regular contact. We always have been. Some people think some of these people literally set out to destroy my relationship with her. I mean, literally they did that. If that's not stalking, I don't know what is. Contacting your friends and telling them false things that you have to now clear up, but easy to clear up because this is a person who knows me, cares about me. Now she knows a few other things about a few other people. That kind of backfired on you. When she went to Tallahassee to the trial, she had flowers waiting in her room. Guess who those were from? I haven't talked much about her, and I won't talk about anything about her or my relationship with her other than to say it's intact. We're still in regular contact. We've been working on some plans together, and she is still somebody I consider a friend, and vice versa. And we share a lot with each other. So I was on the phone with her when my other friend stopped by. But we had a nice long catch up yesterday, which was nice. And she's doing well, all things considered. That's the most I'll say right there. So yes, so this morning then I took Beasley to his favorite place. I mean, as soon as I start driving up the road, he loves the socialization there. There's a lot of other dogs he can interact with. They don't put him together unleashed, but he gets to interact with the other dogs, and he loves that. He's so social. As soon as I start driving up the road, he starts hyperventilating because he's so thrilled to be there. He loves going there, which makes it nicer for us to be able to leave him somewhere. It's out in the country. There's a lot of space, like super nice people, super nice place. So this is something new called Baked Blurring and Setting Powder by Laura Geller. But I thought I'd give it a try because I didn't have anything like that. So we're going to try it. Yeah, it seems to really kind of hold everything down together. So I took him this morning, dropped him off, ran another errand, came back, and because I hadn't showered or anything, I was actually just threw my clothes on that I was wearing last night when I was gardening. I decided to get back at it because I had another about 300 more tulips, some of them teeny tiny, to plant. And I'm like, now or never. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I just decided, just do it. So I went out there this morning and planted the rest of my like 300 bulbs and did a little more of the cleanup. I'm going to use a little bit of this. This is actually something that's a cheat color, but I'm going to use it on my eyes, which is, I think, from that Merit company. Sort of a bit of a bronzer, but I just wanted to use it on my eyes and see how that is. So I got that all done, and more cleanup, more weeding and stuff. So I don't have that hanging over my head. It's kind of now or never. Get it in the ground now or forever lose your peace. And I had hundreds of bulbs in the garage. It's like, I got to do it. So I got my brother's left to go add to his tomorrow. And then I got about 200 more daffodils to put up north when we go up there next week. And then I'm done. Then you sit back and you just wait. And if you're like me, you lay in your bed and obsess over what's sprouting underneath there. I planted also a bunch of hyacinths. I love those. And what's going to be coming up new, what's going to make it, and you wait till spring and let everything do their thing underneath the surface, which is great way to get through the winter. It's just to tune into your bulbs and send them good thoughts, which is what I do. It's just another cool thing to anticipate in life. You know, life is a lot about anticipating good things coming your way, having things to look forward to. Like my grandma said, I always have something to look forward to. And so I've tried to live my life like that too. And having bulbs in the spring is like a big thing to look forward to, especially when hundreds of them will come up and you get to see this excitement of them breaking the surface, and everything's super exciting. The other thing I want to tell you about that I started watching last night was this new show. I've been waiting for it, called The Beast in Me, with Claire Danes. Just putting a little bit of this rose watercolor in the crease. That's this Gen C again. I really, really like this stuff. It was good. This Beast in Me is good. At first I wasn't sure. Her character is tortured. And the guy that plays the appears to be a total psychopath, and it is really good and creepy. Oh, he's so creepy. Literally living next door to her, but he's really good. I recognize him, but I can't think of his name. I've seen him in other things, but man, he's well cast in this. So I recommend that. John wasn't so sure because he cannot handle anything that has violence against children. And it starts out with that, but it's not what you think. And I told him that this morning. It's not like there's a predator and a child has been preyed upon. It's an accident. So, and it's not a central storyline. It's sort of a peripheral storyline, partly to explain why this character, the Claire Danes character, is so messed up. From that, I'm using more of this. I just love this stuff. The Glow of Lady Gaga Glow. So I can recommend that show. We've been trying different shows. Like I said, we were really disappointed in All Her Fault. I felt like it just kind of went off the rails at some point in like the third or fourth episode, and it just never came back, just never recovered from that. I need to put something on my eyebrows. I know I got something in here. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer because I was really hoping that was going to be a good show, and it was not. It was not. It was very, here's something I'll use this. Can't find anything in there for the eyebrows, so I'm going to use this thing right here. Eyebrows are so blonde, aka gray, that they are invisible. So I'm going to do something. This is just sort of like a dark blonde color, which is probably a good one for me. So yeah, I mean, I know other people probably really like that, All Her Fault. I ended up really hating it at the end. I just thought it was a waste of talent, and I thought the storytelling was pretty lame and just went way past believability, plausibility, and the characters were so, I don't know, over the top that, you know, you get to a point where it's like, okay, this is like an insult to my intelligence right now. So it kind of had that kind of a feeling. But I know other people liked it, probably did. I mean, we're hungry for that kind of a show, right? That like sucks you in and draws your attention and keeps you and holds you. But that one was not it. I did see somewhere, back in the day, I used to read those Patricia Cornwell books with Kay Scarpetta. I loved that character as Kay Scarpetta. I like how she'd come home. She was just such an interesting character of a single woman, career person. You know, she would come home and like she'd be working on these crimes. She's a medical examiner, is like solving crimes. But she would like make her pasta. She would always make like some spaghetti and have her glass of wine and be mulling over her crimes. I used to think that when I was doing that myself. Like I used to think I was emulating Kay Scarpetta. But anyway, finally, I don't know if they've ever done any movies on her stuff, but finally they're doing something, and Nicole Kidman is playing her, which I think is really an interesting choice. I didn't picture her in that, but she's such a good actress that I think she can pull it off. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know when it's coming out or whatever, but that crossed my path. And I was like, finally, somebody's making a movie on these stories, because I read all those books. They're really good. And she's a very well-developed character, Kay Scarpetta. So put this overflowing tote of makeup away. Isn't this a cool little thing right there? We got that at IKEA. We didn't have enough storage in here, and I found that at IKEA. So it's a double duty. It's a closet, vanity, whatever you call that, and shelves. Like, it can hold all of our bathroom stuff and toilet paper, everything in there. And it's a full-length mirror at the same time. And it's very low profile, so it just sort of flows in with the wall, so it's not in anybody's way. That right there, my neighbor gave me. That's a dahlia. It's really a stepping stone, but I pulled the thing off the wall that was there and stuck that there because I'm like, I want to have a little pop of pink in my bathroom. I claim this bathroom. John uses the bathroom upstairs. Another key to marriage. Each have your own bathroom. I'll just put a little lip gloss on and call it makeup. Really looking forward to getting my coffee, getting on the road with John. We have so much fun. We rarely put anything on radio or anything because we're talking. It made me think of my first marriage, where I was like, always had to have a good playlist and a book on something, because there was just no banter. My husband and I, we got the banter down, and we got our subjects that we're going to banter about. I said, let's wait and I'll talk to you about that in the car. Well, I'm going to use a little bit of this lip liner. I've been kind of watching people putting on lip liner. It looks natural. Play around with it a little bit. Just kind of give a little shape. It's one of the things, we get older, our lips sort of like disappear into the canvas of your face. I don't know if you can tell that, but a little something, something. Anyway, thanks for joining me with getting ready. Yes, somebody asked me about the fives. I collect fives. Five's been my lucky number for a long, long time. And then as it turned out, I was talking about this yesterday with somebody. My husband and I were both 55 when we got married. 5, 5, 5, 5. We were both 55, and we got married on 5, 10, 15. We were going to get married on 5, 5, 15, but there was some conflict with that date, and 5, 10, 15 ended up being Mother's Day, which was also, I think, the anniversary of his mother's passing. So his mother was tied into that date. But 10, of course, is the, multiplication of 5. So 5, 10, 15, we got married, both of us at age 55. And 5 was, I already had these 5s. I got that one at a junkyard, and it was just silver, and I painted it that color. And that one I got from from an address on somebody's house, from also like a thrift store or whatever. So I had been collecting those things. And then 5 became kind of our number together. So that's why I have 5s around. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be catching up with you again soon. Thanks for joining me. And thanks for tolerating this terrible lighting. I'll take you out into the other room. We'll see what it looks like in actual decent lighting. Well, it's not so decent. I'll go over by the window. Here's the makeup in real lighting. No filter. That's what I'm telling you, that Wet n Wild serum does, because otherwise you'd be seeing a lot of spots and rosacea. I'm going to show you my garden. That was all bushy and unruly as of yesterday, and now it's cleaned up and full of bulbs. Okay, he's talking to me from upstairs. Gotta go. Catch you later.